we are here with Chris Schaefer. Chris Schaefer, one of the top producing agents here at Impact Realty. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, sir.
You are having yourself a heck of a month right now, man. You just shattered the company record for number of contracts in a month. You did 11 contracts this month, and you said you had one that even fell apart. So you technically had 12, over $5 million in contracts you put on the board this month. So congratulations, man. You are absolutely killing it. So what are you doing? What's working for you? How the heck are you even doing this?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's been a hell of a month. So, I've just stuck to a lot of the training that we've done in the past. Obviously a lot of the classes and everything have helped, but I've expanded on it. And, main focus is sphere of influence and referrals, because this is honestly, your biggest tool is using your phone. You know what I mean? You have a bajillion leads and contacts in there that you have acquired over the time, whether it's, from going to different events and stuff, or just, going out to dinner and bumping into somebody. So one of the main things that I was doing, cause I had a snag in the beginning of the year. I was like, oh my God, I don't have any business. I'm losing multiple offers. So what I started doing is I started calling up all my clients that I've ever sold a property to. And I just told them, I'm like, did you enjoy, the real estate journey that I provided you? And, if so, would you be willing to refer me to some people, maybe share my Instagram profile, or just, share my information if you've heard of anybody. So, with doing that, all of a sudden the leads started pouring in, obviously, because I took very good, well, at least I thought I took very good care of my clients.
So you were taking your past book of clientele and reaching out to them, asking for referrals and trying to grow your sphere of influence. And you're taking your sphere of influence, and no matter where you're at, you're networking with people, you're getting their contact information, you're letting them know what you do, you're letting people know what you specialize in. So you've got your sphere of influence, but you're constantly trying to expand it. And you did a direct targeted approach to your past clients and said, hey, if you like the services I provided, here's where we're at with the market right now. I would love if I could, get a couple names of people that I could help out, basically.
100%. And then another thing, obviously, because we're in a pandemic, instead of passing out business cards, I was putting my number directly in people's phones.
Okay.
And then, if they had an iPhone, I would pin the text message to the top after I sent them my information. So just little tips and tricks. I mean, obviously you go on Facebook and there's friends of friends. The best referral you're going to get is from somebody that you've done business with. So, I mean, people are going to feel a lot more comfortable because obviously there's a story behind it. There's history, there's a relationship. And, that's what real estate's all about, is building relationships.
Yeah. And so for somebody that's never done business before, or they're just getting started in the business, what would you recommend instead of, hitting their past clients? What would you recommend? Who would you recommend them hitting up?
I mean, the first people I would call is my family, especially if I'm local. And even if you're not right now, because a lot of my deals that I've been doing are from, friends of family, from people in Pittsburgh, New England, the tri-state area, just all over the country, because people want to move to the greatest state in the US, and that's Florida,
Yep. And you're doing, and you recommend doing a targeted approach. I love the fact that you are not only, you have a great social media presence. There's no doubt about it. Mr. Sal TAMPA on Instagram. But I love the fact that you are also targeting actual people, and you're saying you're taking a systematic approach to going after growing that sphere of influence and growing after that business. And obviously it's showing great dividends for you with the $5 million in business you put on the board this month. So let me ask you now, you've got to be pulling your hair out, because 11 deals and $5 million in a month, that's a spectacular year for most real estate agents. For 95% of the real estate agents out there, that would be a spectacular year, and you did it in 4 weeks. How are you navigating through keeping track of all this? How are you handling it?
So back in July, I believe was when I broke the company record last time. And I had no help, no support. I was up till 11 o'clock, midnight, sometimes 2, 3 in the morning, doing addendums, contracts, and I didn't think it was feasible to do more than 5 or 6 deals in a month because, all the paperwork on top of all the showings, on top of all the phone calls. And then you got to understand, just because you have business that's, blossoming at that point in time, you still got to prospect.
Right.
So it seemed like a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. And then, obviously we had the sit down, the conversation, we started talking about transaction coordinators. And at first I was a little bit, nervous to do it. I was apprehensive because, I wanted to be in control of my own destiny.
Right.
But as soon as I stopped being stubborn, I started to realize that, hey, I do like taking vacations, so this will help me take more.
That's right.
And then it's also somebody you can bounce ideas off of. They might have done stuff with another deal, that could, help you navigate through one that's giving you grief. So obviously a transaction coordinator was allowed me to double, my limits.
Right. That's fantastic. And what you're going to find is that you're going to hit another ceiling. You hit one ceiling and you broke through that ceiling by putting, leveraging other people and whatnot. What you're going to find is you're going to actually hit another ceiling at some point. You have to put more procedures in or people in place, whether it's a showing assistant or a listing assistant or whatnot, to break through that ceiling. But heck, if you keep doing 11 transactions a month, you're living pretty good and you can afford to do that. So good job with that, buddy. All right. Any other tips and tricks for any of the agents out there that you want to share?
Well, I mean, one of the main things that I did to kind of expand my portfolio was going to the different networking events. There's investors out there that are always looking for, sharp looking agents, and they could be unhappy with the person who's been listing their new construction or their acquisition person to find them, tear downs or lots. So, I mean, there's always an opportunity there. If you go on the TB REA Facebook group, there's always opportunities for off-market deals. You could start tying in with different wholesalers. And, I was talking to a lot of them and they had some investors that were unhappy with their agents. So toggling that bucket of business too. Yeah.
So leveraging folks that can send you repeat business. So once you create that relationship one time, service them well, they're going to continue to send you more and more business, whether it's builders, whether it's investors, whatnot. So leveraging that. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. So.